back-to-back of the Formula 2 season, and from the streets of Monaco it is to the very familiar venue of the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya. Qualifying yesterday after 45 minutes of practice, drivers out on the soft tyres pushing to try and set fastest lap. Roman Belinsky fighting with the car there. We would have drivers coming into the pits late in the session looking to go and set one more lap, but into the gravel went Ritomo Miata, and that meant Rafa Kamara would take back-to-back pole positions in Formula 2. Well, welcome everyone to round 5, Barcelona, the venue for our 5th round of the season. This the place where we did pre-season testing, so a venue the drivers all know very well and will be prepared for tyre degradation, which is going to be the story of the weekend. 26 laps of sprint racing, points to the top 8 in this race, 37 laps of feature race on Grand Prix Sunday tomorrow, 2 DRS zones. We will have DRS activated on lap 2 between turns 9 and 10. In this race, we reverse the top 10. So with that, Noel Leon will start on pole position with Kush Miney alongside. My name Chris McCarthy, Piers Pryor alongside me. Piers, this is going to be a very entertaining race, but one with tyre degradation definitely on the minds of the drivers.
Absolutely, Chris. The wind we saw whipping through the flags there, pretty heavy wind out there, 5 meters per second, pretty blustery, and it's going across the start-finish straight left to right, which means tailwind into that high-speed middle sector turn 9, which will make the exit of that pretty tricky for the drivers in terms of track limits and not making mistakes. Chris, you've already mentioned it. Tyres are going to be the word of the day. We heard in Formula 1 pre-practice 3 that the teams and drivers are saying we can barely get a lap out of the Formula 1 Pirelli tyres. We run, of course, different compounds slightly for Formula 2. However, they will be falling away aggressively, especially the front and rear left tyre. Lots of long, high load right-hand corners, which put a lot of load on the outside left-hand tyres. So potentially, drivers who push too hard early on might be struggling towards the end of a run. And also, with the track temperature nudging 50 degrees, air temperature 29 degrees at the moment, we might see some late pit stops in a sprint race for drivers pitting for some newer rubber in the hopes of potentially a safety car or even just better pace towards at the end. And that was exactly how Richard Verschoor went on to take victory this race 1 year ago.
Let's take a look at the grid for you then. We'll start at the back. Ritomo Miata had his best lap deleted due to bringing out a red flag as we saw him go off at the final corner. He's alongside Kean Shields. Mari Boya and Sebastian Montoya, row 10, and all Prema, row 10. Mari Boya, the home hero for the fans. John Bennett next along. He's going to be alongside Emerson Fittipaldi for AIX Racing. Has scored points across the last 2 rounds. Roman Belinsky, a double DNF for him here last year in Formula 3. He'll be hoping for better fortune this time. Martinius Stenchon next to him. Joshua Dirksen has a 5-place grid drop for both races. He's alongside Ollie Goethe. Lawrence Van Hoopen is going to be on row 6 with Dino Beganovic. Then we have Tsanopol Itrapuvizak. He moves into the top 10 with Dirksen having that 5-place grid drop. Rafa Kamara will be P9 for this. The Alpine Juniors, Alex Dunn and Gabriele Mini will be next on row 4. Mini, our championship leader. Rafael Villagomez on row 3. He had a podium here last year after a late pit stop. Nicolas Solov is just 1 point behind Mini in the standings. 2 drivers who can get a first podium in Formula 2, Nico Verone and Colton Herter, who took part in FP1. Kush Miney is going to be on the front row with Noel Leon, who's looking for a hat-trick of wins across the sprint races. Let's cover off that 5-place penalty first of all, Piers. Joshua Dirksen getting that 5-place grid drop for ignoring yellow flags. So he set his fastest time when the yellow flags were out for Ritomo Miata, who went off at the final corner.
Yeah, he was in the same part of the circuit as Ritomo Miata, so I think either just ahead or just behind when Miata went off at that last corner. So unlucky, but unfortunately, rules is rules. If you go keep it flat out through a yellow flag zone, you expect to have your lap time deleted and also that penalty applied. So a bit more of an uphill struggle for Joshua Dirksen, but the Invicta team and Dirksen will know they've got the pace. In this one, he's got to make a fair few places to get up into the podium, points-paying positions, but definitely doable. We've seen overtaking here at the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya, and we've got 2 DRS zones, Chris, you mentioned it already. Long one down towards turn 1, 1,050 metres nearly is the length of the straight, and then also that back straight down towards turn 10 as well.
Someone else who took part in FP1 there for Audi, Paul Aaron. Good to see our reigning champion also out there, Leo Fornaroli for McLaren today. And one of the other drivers who was out there was Colton Herta, took part in FP1 for Cadillac and then went on to get his best results so far in qualifying in Formula 2. Let's hear from him and the remainder of the top 3.
I'd be happy if we can kind of show progress from the last few races. The racer in me wants to answer that and say, yes, I want the win, but you know, we just need to build points and be better this year. So starting off tomorrow, that could be a great chance.
I think you know, you can easily plan, but it's F2, so let's just I'll see after I drop the clutch.
It will mean a lot, to be honest. Winning in the hometown of the team, I will be well deserved for all the guys, for all the hard work. So I will try to push it to get it.
We heard from Colton Herta there. He was looking for a much better qualifying performance. That's what he got. 26 laps ahead of us here, Piers. What's going to be the strategy for the drivers here? Is it going to be one of patience?
I think so. We saw a little bit of that in the Formula 3 race earlier on this morning, and it wasn't even quite as hot then, and the tyres don't get worked quite as hard as in a Formula 2 car. So the drivers that were a bit more conservative, should we say, on the first, an opportunity to get some big points on the board for a safety car, try and give themselves track positions. Plenty of
season, but Kushmani took a podium here in 2024.
It's hard to call this one, so close in qualifying. We spoke 2 tenths away from third, so the grid very, very close. Who will have the best over the course of the race?
To the right on pole position is Noel Leon, and who's going to go straight into the lead in that white Campos. Junior Nicholas Solov taking it round the outside. Start for Kushmani, he leads the way.
Issues around the outside of turn 3 for Campos drivers, sideways there in practice, but Leon now second place, and we've still got battling further down the order. Dirksen was the side of turn 7 and 8, that would be a bold move. Dunn's not going to...
He's got Nico, he's got Moan Rafa Kamara looking to the outside of Vil. Is on the move here. He's moving up. Things going from bad to worse for him.
Yeah, bad to worse for Dirksen. You know, we saw his lap time. Miney absolutely running away with this. As I miscalled it. It was actually, as you were right, Chris, it was Gabriel back to look at the trident drivers of Van Hoopen. And go Colton Herta's round the outside. Looks Gabriel.
He and Nicholas Solov split by just a single. Colton Herta down to 5th, but a long way to DRS to Noel Leon and to Nicholas Herta.
Yeah, DRS is open, but Miney looks like he's broken that. Titanopol into Puvazak, boldly up the time. The DRS will be enabled down the long that pass. Will remain to be seen quite how powerful DRS will be.
Pair over the crest now, and Nicholas take it round the outside. Textbook driving.
Chip second place at the moment. Knows he needs to make his Ming. Wants to try and close that gap if at all. How the start was not a great start from the road in pink Alpine from Miney was brilliant. Then we were nearly 3 abreast as the third Alpine driver. Outside for second and had a big wobble similar to the wobble right before the start of this race. He said he'd see after
his view down towards the first corner. You can see the
start from Villagomez actually, and it's pierced the gap on the Insta and Villagomez as we've now got Noel Leon on Mini. It looks like there's some polystyrene or something on the Dirksen and Stenshaw, which happened away from the camera.
You can see his championship rival up ahead, looking to get by the other Campos there of Noel
Leon's car, the white Campos ahead jumped. There's also a secondary loss later on in the race. Erin later on will harm. Jumping end plate flies off, and then I assume it gets obliterated. Yes, have any damage on that, but that was why there was debris down on the surface of sustainability, because they are somewhat of a consumable.
He's under investigation for causing a collision. Solov is into second with clear air. His lap of the race and has a lead of 3.
Nick Kushmani, one of the, in fact, the most experienced driver on keep a Pirelli tyre in an team's championship, right up there in the championship every season. It is to me that maybe that Solov back up to him, because it will be easier for Solov to pass a
10-second penalty we saw there for causing Jackson going into the gravel. Bit of a down in 13th place, carrying a penalty. Here could swap round because, as you point out, Piers, Noel off position in the podium places. Here we go. Noel Leon, yes, he is. Great driving from Gabriel.
Was also there from Noel Leon. He gave Noel Leon not quite got the pace of the drive. Stenshorn got that penalty. Yeah, just a bit too late, I think. And that was that first.
Amazing, Stenshorn.
Right, here's an onboard of Lawrence Van Hoopen there.
Exactly what Rotoma Miata did, but somehow losing a fair amount of time in doing so. He was soaked in the car to understeer, and it just gripped a bit more than he was on the Formula 2 cars. Now Herta looks to be the next
of this race, doesn't he? Dropping back, Colt extending his gap out front, so fielding this one.
We're coming up to 1/3 distance. ART car that Miney has underneath him is handling well. That the tyres at the very, very coolest point will be at 50. A bit of a game of cat and mouse now. Solo away, and then he's got the job done, and I'm never going to catch him. Or he's still got 18, 19 laps of also for Stenshorn on his Rodin car, owing to that contact
from him.
We've got a 30-second penalty. The rule is you have to be alongside of the apex.
Meanwhile, Colt have got to finish the race. So that with Rafa Kamara, for example, having to roll into tomorrow. We've seen it across F3.
And regulations. It would be so easy after a collision, save the engine, you know, dust ourselves off and come back. Kamara was more than a lap down, wasn't he, after he came in today? And Stenshorn said that, you know, you have to be alongside. So that's how the stewards saw it at the very least. Van Amersfoort racing car as well. He's currently reduced front end grip.
We're seeing a lot. If you do too many track limits, it can lead to a penalty.
Basically, the drivers only have a 2 or 3 behind the white lines. Basically, if you're go over the exit, there's still tarmac there, and not what you want. And the engineers will be saying on the radio to the drivers, look, it's all a heated battle at the end of this race, and you're on your last.
Latest one, the latest track limit violations come 2 corners of the circuit, Piers. 2 lines now, as you can see on the circuit there.
Easier for the FIA to identify when a wheel has gone over this corner there. That was very close to the track limits there, as we front left especially, but the left-hand side tyres, and we'll come around, the car will slide a lot more. There's with the car more, so that's another reason why you don't want to be difficult to hold on to the car and keep it with it all in the last couple of laps.
Now look at the 4.8 seconds within a lap or 2 now. Get his foot down a bit here and start to use those tyres.
Are starting to die. First sector 27.0, 27.3.
Wow.
So actually it's the big mistake, or whether the tyres are just crying enough. Pack.
And that includes, isn't it, the long, that is where he's really going to be struggling.
Yeah, they're on board with it. Will be 1 point if he doesn't get fastest lap for that place. Kamara, who's on the back of Villa Gomez. Villa Gomez doing well to hold the inside. Not quite able to get that one at the moment in that yellow Invicta.
Another track limit warning for Cole. If any of those go from warnings to at the start, trying to recover now, is he going to ask Joshua Dirksen to go through? Doesn't really want to fight. To keep an eye on, Piers, isn't it? Is if we had to see a chance for the likes of Stenshorn to come in, service penalty, put on the softs and try and charge through. That's how the
15, 16, I think, if there was a safe points even, but if you're outside the points, you're more likely to roll the die. Now, it would be too long to take a soft tyre. The tyre would be 2, 3, 4 seconds a lap faster, because the
right behind Nikola Solov. And here, Piers, does he stay behind Solov?
I think at this stage, Mini would be happy to follow. So he's reversing back towards you. As I look at the times again, mine pulling away from Noel Leon behind. So this is a low-risk strat difference in the championship. Not gaining but not losing on their chance of taking a potential victory in this race gets 3.4. It was. What is it over the line now? Still, sector's not so bad. So maybe it was a mistake a couple of laps ago.
The thing he's done there to just help his tyre. In the Blue Dams, Lucas Oil Cars colours, broken clear out front as we look back.
Gomez clearly not having the pace at this stage, and you can tell that. But if he doesn't overtake Villa Gomez, then Bogdanovic is overtaking opportunities. But don't forget, it will get him close enough into the last sector.
Down towards turn 10. Here we go. Launch his attack. Colton Herta right on the back, 0.3 of a second behind. This is your battle. It's like he ran a little bit wide there. We've got black and white. Herta, meanwhile, he was right on the back of Noel Leon. And Rafa Kamara trying to get the switch back here on